This week we're going to visit my good friend Codty Pierce. Captain Codty Pierce guides in a variety of places, really. He's a guy that's user friendly if you're fishing up around Cedar Key, if you're fishing in Biscayne Bay, the Florida Everglades. But home for him truly is Pine Island Sound. Why is every time we fish together, the weather just, well, sucks? Sucks!
Well, partly because we fish in early winter. This is just typical, beginning of the year weather patterns. But more importantly, we're big trout guys. We fish cloudy, overcast days with a stiff north wind. That means big gator trout, old mustard mouth. We're here to rock and roll, man. We're here to show people that no matter what, you can still achieve big goals and make it happen.
I don't often fish with a guide back-to-back seasons, but I gotta tell you, you are the one exception I do like to make. I do like to get a little Codty the Explorer action going on every year, because not only do you know the fishery so well, but you know the geology, the ecology, the historical significance of this whole zone, and it's just cool to hang out with you. I learn something every time.
Well, I appreciate that, man. When you switch the tables here, think of it from my perspective. I'm fishing with one of my idols. I grew up watching your shows. A lot of what I do and what I've achieved is because of you. So it's an honor, and look forward to spending the day with you.
Here's that 100 I owe you for saying that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So after I got the call from CA and the initial excitement, wore off, then I started to think, oh no, what on earth are we gonna do with a stiff north wind and a cold front coming through? That's always the case when I get a call from that guy. So when we went into the day, it was blowing a solid 17, 18 miles an hour, just colder than can be, stiff north wind. What does a guy do in that situation? Look for redfish. Redfish are always most reliable. So, the MO of the day was to try to find anything that was going to be on the leeward side of a windy island, especially if it had that morning sun falling on the banks. That was going to be our recipe for success. And we took a very brisk, somewhat short boat ride through going south with the wind, thank goodness, first thing, and we made our way south and picked up a couple of areas, and it was anything we could find that was out of the wind, it was game on. My apologies, I thought he ate it. Nice cast. Nice job, CA.
Like that?
Bravo. Bravo.
I can't put a lot of pressure on it. This is a tiny, tiny little finesse bullets. Ever hear one with drag?
No. This is the first one with a drag noise?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You can hear the drag. Pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Because that one did pop the bait. He just bit the tail. Then I didn't want to move because if you're real fast, you just blow them all out. But then this guy came. Yeah. And once I could see his wake, I just threw way up ahead of him and waited for him.
A good 6-pound fish?
Yeah, it's a good solid fish.
Yep. I'll put the old...
This is a unique setup that I'm throwing because I bet that fish weighs more than 6 pounds. He's gonna fill that net.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll try to do my job here. If we can just turn his head.
Hold on.
Yep. Good thing is he can't quite get under the boat. Got him. Nice job, buddy.
And he's
a stud.
We'll
take him.
He's absolutely a stud.
That's a beautiful fish. Is it all right to set him up here?
Yeah, we can set him up there.
All right, we'll wash out all the ickies real quick. Hello, beautiful.
Wow, what a nice fish.
That is a beautiful fish.
Look at that little tiny Goby Bryant bait.
Look at that thing.
That is a monster.
Like they say, you don't know till you go.
You got to go, and the sun's trying to break out here. It might get blue the rest of the day.
It should.
It might get
Beautiful
blue.
placement.
I'm gonna say that fish is probably outside the slot.
Yes, sir.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
I'm sorry, man. It was too. I knew that was gonna happen. It's too long of holding on to it.
Yeah, this water's nice and chill.
Yeah.
They get fired up.
Big redfish behind me at 7 o'clock, 80 feet. Coming, he's swimming right at the motor, about 80 feet. You can just barely see the black on him. Here we go.
There
Ooh,
it is.
nice
Good
one too. Good one.
Yeah, baby.
That's a big one. Wow. Isn't that drag run, son? The only thing I'm worried about is him going in them trees, but
Yeah. Well, I have 8 pounds of drag on this reel. That's it. But I got a
I'll
lot
help
of
you out
thumb.
the best I can. Man, I really love that drag sound on a bait caster.
Different, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Makes it fun. I think we should do it with all of them.
Oh, beautiful fish.
They should do it with all of them.
And you think you got a little bit of heads up on them, I'll power pull down.
I'm just trying to.
It's
This
a good
water's so nice and cool, so they got so much dissolved oxygen, they can run hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. And when you fish with those light hooks on those Ned style baits, you know, you can't really put too crazy pressure on them. You gotta truly play the fish. This fish is big. It's a really big fish. I mean, whew, man. Another healthy fish.
Lee Island Coast Special.
That's what I would say. I mean, just gorgeous.
I remember, you know, hearing from you a couple years back, you know, when you used to fish the Tor a lot, that our fish were always a little heftier for their size compared to other.
Always a little bigger, a little
locations.
stronger, a little more aggressive, especially with all the habitat that you guys have here. I mean, it's just a special place. It really is. It's not only great for redfish, it's really, really good for snook too.
We're very lucky to call this place home.
Well, let's get this one back in the water. I think he wants to take off now. Go on with your bad self. Whew. I didn't think we were going to get that one off the tree line. That one was.
I was worried about it.
That one had some
Shoulders to it.
shoulders to it and was going right for it. And sometimes if you can just steer them a little bit and then follow them with that tip, they'll go where you want them to go. Thank goodness. Anytime I'm faced with challenging conditions, and this has just really evolved over the last 3 or 4 seasons for me, I have just kind of reached in the back of my tackle bag and pulled out a Ned rig. And when I knew this front was coming and he told me the water is crystal clear and we're gonna have low water because the winds are gonna be primarily northerlies, he goes, we're gonna have to throw small stuff, CA, just small stuff. Don't bring anything big, not one of those power fishing rigs that you like to bring. Don't bring any of that, just bring little stuff. So I packed nothing but Ned rigs. So we were going to fish with it. Turns out that that was the absolute best setup to use. And then me being able to expose to all of you the bait finesse system with the Shimano BFS turned out to be great. There we go.
Oh, it's a nice redfish. Good job.
Man, two successive casts.
How we
Early
play,
release
bud.
a snook and then get busted by a redfish on the very next cast.
Only when fishing with CA. During the winter time, the redfish's prey items tend to be very small crustaceans. That's at the top of the list, whether they're snapping shrimp, penade shrimp, which are your common bait shop style shrimp. They tend to eat a lot of finger mole at this time of year, and mantis shrimp. So anything that's going to be on the bottom is really going to be what they're looking for, whether it's small crabs, shrimp, as we already talked about, clown gobies, really small prey items that, you know, that inhabit the bottom.
Whew. Nice job, buddy. Man, I'm gonna have to get me, so tell me this reel again, BFS, correct?
BFS.
Well,
Yep.
I'm a believer.
It's a cool little reel for target fishing. It really is, and you'd think you'd never be able to catch fish that are, because it only has 8 pounds of drag. It only carries 50 yards of line. I mean, that's it. I got 10-pound braid on there. You wouldn't think it would be a worthwhile system, but you catch everything. Everything eats something small.
Well, and you know, as you've demonstrated today, just pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, the
You know,
accuracy is wicked with these things.
That's a game changer for sure.
Yep.
Well, bravo. Nice snook, and then immediately, without a retie, straight to a redfish.
Straight to a red.
Nothing says Southwest Florida like that, pal.
Codty's probably known for his love of just exploring. Even within the Charlotte Harbor system itself, most guides find themselves fishing the same 6 or 8 glory holes every day of their lives because it's just familiarity and they launch from one area. Codty, on the other hand, he goes the extra mile. He might be fishing the north end of the harbor one day. He might be fishing Estero Bay the next, Pine Island Sound, Matlacha, and sometimes he covers all this in one day. He'll double splash, or he'll just run the Marquesa across the harbor and go fish somewhere totally else. He's a can-do personality. Codty is a can-do personality. He works hard for his clients, I can tell you that. How's that for stealth, dude?
Nice job, Bubba.
You like that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Oh man. Codty, we fed this big dog.
Look at the pod. Look at the pod going away from us up there at 2 o'clock, about 100 feet. There's
Yeah, I
another
see him.
20
They're sliding toward that spoonbill in the corner.
Yes, sir.
Oh, gorgeous fish.
Nice job, bud. BFS.
BFS, man. Who needs a fly rod, Codty? Who needs a damn fly rod?
Don't tell my clients that, pal. Well, I know what's on my Christmas list. Today, we were able to fish both the west side of Pine Island as well as the east side. On the east side of the island, which is closest to the mainland with all the freshwater tributaries, you know, we saw a lot of habitat change today. A lot of our seagrass beds, unfortunately, have been replaced by a type of drift algae. It is basically cloaked out or choked out all of our native grasses on the east side, but what it does is provide a lot of different types of habitat for shrimp and gobies. So we were able to kind of fish the normal natural habitat and then go complete 180 and go fish the man-influenced habitat and show that there's still hope, that no matter what, you know, that it's always worth fighting for to try to save this place, and also that, you know, nature always overcomes.
You were right. You know, that there are gobies in this algae, and that little goby style, that little trick shot style from Z-Man, perfect for this. Perfect. It's just got enough tail that lifts off the back of it. That, the ticklers, you know, there's a couple of good profiles that you can use out here, but that is a great little profile. 1/10 of an ounce jig head. That's what it takes. You can't make a big splash today.
No, sir.
When you first meet Codty, he wants to make your trip unique. He doesn't like doing the same thing day in and day out. He's going to ask you a bunch of questions. You're going to feel the passion. There's no one that has as much passion about fishing as Codty. It's the number one thing in order in his life. He fishes on his day off. That's all he thinks about is fishing. I mean, that's it. I mean, he spends every day possible on the water. I mean, you saw his sunburn. It's not good. I mean, he's out there every day. He loves it. He wants to push it onto you, and he doesn't like to be on a time limit. You're going to get a full day of fishing out of Codty Pierce. He wants to win, and that's good for all of you.
They're going right though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are now.
Nice job, Bubba. Oh, it's a whole school. Look at them all with them. That's cool. Ugh. That's really cool. Great job, pal.
Nice.
Nice.
That is the way you end a day of great fishing right there.
Beautiful job.
Oh, back to the tarpon lodge.
Bacon cheeseburger on me, pal.
That's right, man. Ho, 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 ho. This might be the biggest one of the day.
Very well could be.
I don't know if it's because we've caught so many I'm just getting worn out now, but
it's very likely.
Hard to get him to make a lot of headway. Can't put a lot of pressure on him. He's going to be a net fish.
It's going to be a net fish. I like it.
It's going to be a net fish. Gosh, I mean gorgeous. No, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Look at that tank, dude. That's a tank.
All right, lift his head one more time.
Oh,
In the net.
That's the way you end.
Nice, pal. Great job.
That's the way you end right there. I'll tell you what, that is a sweet looking fish.
It sure is. That's what happens when you're fishing with the professor.
We did really well. I learn something every time I come fishing with you, Codty.
Well, same here, man. It's mutual.
I really do. I mean, you make it easy. And you work so hard for not only me, but all your clients really appreciate the effort you put in.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's get this guy back in the water.
And this is how we're rewarded, man. There's nothing better. Watching that fish go.
That's the way you go away right there. You catch you about 30 inches right there at the end. That water is nice and cold. You going away, girl?
Hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
LCA, appreciate everything as always, pal.
Dude, you showed us a great time. The audience is going to love this show.
Well,
it really
It was an honor, man.
So there are a few elements that were instrumental in Codty and I's success during this cold front. One was throwing this Ned rig system that I have really embraced. It's got to be my favorite way to catch fish now. So the baits we were using basically were the TRD ticklers. We used the trick shots in the Goby Bryant color, and then we used the Finesse TRD in what I would call orange, orange with brown pumpkin, more of a fiddler crab look. Those three colors were really solid for us. The terminal tackle, if I pull it out of my little Z-Man bait blocks here, we were using 1/10 of an ounce. These are the Ned locks. 1/10 of an ounce is the right weight. By the time you add the Elastec bait to it, you're probably flirting with about 1/8, maybe even just a shad over. And that's the perfect weight to be able to make nice soft casts to these fish. We also played a little bit with the Finesse bullets, which is a Texas style jig, if you will, designed for Ned rig fishing. Along with that, you've got to have a delivery system to be able to cast this stuff. Now we used two. I'll briefly go over the spinning gear. This is a Zodius rod, very light action, and this is a Vanford 2000 reel, and it's spooled up with 8-pound Power Pro Super Slick. It's a great setup for throwing Ned rigs, especially if you're not into the casting rod deal like I am. Now let me show you the casting rod I was using. This is an all new thing. This came out of Japan. They call it the Bait finesse system, or the BFS. This BFS setup is dynamite, and I'm totally addicted to it. I have it actually packed with 10-pound braid, that's it. So I've got about 55 yards of 10-pound braid, and you're probably gonna say, why only 55 yards? Well, that's how shallow the spool is. That's what allows you to throw these lightweight jigs with little tiny pieces of terminal tackle on them. You wouldn't be able to throw it on a typical bait caster. It's on a Corrado BFS rod. This rod is designed to throw anything from 1/16 all the way up to probably a ½ an ounce, but it's a super light action, but did a fantastic job, and you saw all the fun we had with it today. If you want to learn a lot more about BFS and Ned rig fishing, you should check out Flats Class YouTube, because we've got dozens of videos on there on that type of setup now, because yours truly went down that rabbit hole. Hope you enjoyed today's show, and I hope sharing a little bit of this tackle strategy with you will put more fish in your boat.